Good morning, Zone family. How is everybody on this first Monday of 2020? One of the things that I am going to do for this year, and I'll tell you how you can help me stay accountable and help me keep moving forward in doing this. What I would like to do is each Monday, I'd like to bring you just a little coaching video. So just something short, some little something you could do that week to help mental, right? So this is more about mindset and keeping us here where we should be, right? Because that's the most important part. The rest of it falls in place when this part is in place, when we have all of this headed in the right direction. So, and just, to help with some encouragement for that. So I'm going to keep them short. I want to keep them to just a few minutes or less, and how you can help me. And for if you're liking this, if you're doing the exercises or whatever, just drop me a little something, let me know. So that way I know it matters and keep doing it and that kind of thing. So anyway, here we go. For this week, I'm going to do a little exercise that actually I did in one of my coaching groups. And so I just want you to know that is something I do. So these things that I bring you a lot are things from my groups that I'm in. I'm in 2 separate coaching groups outside of this that help me stay on track and keep me accountable. So I need that. And I think all of us do. And if you're willing and open to learning more about yourself and growing your self-awareness and growing in being more accountable to yourself, and as I like to say too, is I like to put things out in front of me, make myself do them, and because I like to be proud of myself, right? And that grows some confidence that we need to move forward. So here's my 2 things I would like you to do for today, and this is kind of short and simple. Or it could be something you really take some time and sit down and reflect. So either way, however you want to do that, take it as far as you want. But I have 2 questions for you. So to answer these questions, take a moment, if you have not, to reflect on last year. I think a lot of times we just really bulldoze right on to the next thing. I know I had the tendency to do that this year because I was so ready to be done with 2019, if I'm just being honest. Had so many things just go sideways, and not just for myself, but for a lot of people around me. And so I was ready to move on. So what didn't go right? What were the things that didn't go right? So take an assessment of those. Think about health-wise, in relationships, in your career, business, your passion, the thing you do for fun, those kind of things. And if you don't have anything you do for fun, add something to your list that you do for fun. Your personal growth. Do you feel like you are a different person, a better person at the end of 2019? What's interesting is I would say to you, 2019 literally kicked my butt. But at the same time, to answer that last question I asked you, do I think I'm a better person? Yeah, I probably am because of that. So take from those, I want you to just think back on 2019 and think about what didn't go right. Maybe write a list, write it down, and, look at the list, and it is what it is, not something to harp on. But I think sometimes it's good to put it on a piece of paper, get it out, put it down. And then I want you to look at each of those things and find a treasure in each one. And just like I said, for me, I'm if you would have asked me in November how I was going to do anything, I didn't know. I was just so in the middle of my stuff. And now I feel so much better coming out on the other side. And I'm so grateful for a new year. I'm so grateful for that time that the calendar changes and we have that moment to feel like there's a restart, even though, technically you think about it, it is just another day. There's not really anything that changes, but it is this attitude and it's this feeling and this energy that happens in January, and we get to ride that. So, grab onto that, look back at the things that didn't go right and find some treasure in each one. You had a parent that was sick, but you might have spent more time with them because of it. You had I know some of you lost people last year, and that brought a lot of perspective to your own lives and is really making you think about how you want to spend 2020 and moving on. That's a treasure. So I just want you to think about those things. And in anything in 2019 of those things that is, like, you're still kind of carrying with you and it's not serving you, take a moment to like leave it and leave it and have a moment where you say, okay, it's done and I'm leaving it. The second thing I'd like you to do is this. Write a list of what worked. What went right? And maybe that's from your treasures, but maybe it's completely different. There are things that went right, like in the midst of all those things that were happening that went sideways, maybe something went really well at work. Or, for me, I'm like, okay, my year, but you know what? What worked? Chloe had an amazing year last year. Like, she had an amazing year. While her year was one of the hardest for me, it was great for her. She left, she started school, she did so great her first semester, all these things. So it's like, while I was having the pull, because for me as a mom, letting go was so hard, there is this what worked? What worked was I raised her to go and not need me. And that's a great thing, right? So that's something I should be like, good job, Mom, even though it's hard. And I'm going to cry right now saying it. But, pat yourself on the back for the things that went right and spend some time finding some things that went right. I would encourage you to make sure that list, however long it takes you to sit there and find some gratitude for things, make sure the list of things that went right is longer than the list of things that went wrong. Because I'm sure if we're still here and you're still watching this, enough went right that should be a longer list. Granted, the things on the list that went wrong might be big things, but let's make that list longer. And let's learn from those things. Let's grow from those things. And even if they were big losses, we can really take those and move forward and think like, how then do I want to live my days, right? So that's my thing for this week. That's your coaching for this week. I'd love to hear from some of you. Some of you have done the Design Your Decade with me, so you've already kind of thought about these things. This may be having you look at a little bit different, but just write down what didn't go right. Find a treasure in each one of those things. Write down what worked. And just kind of sit with that. And the things from last year that are not serving you, that are not lifting you up, they're not helping you to be a better person, then have a moment where you truly open your hands, open your grip, and let those things go. So there you go. That's this week, and I hope that's helpful. Like I said, the best way you can let me know if this means anything to you is just reach out and let me know. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. This is the week everybody's starting. You can tell by looking at numbers in classes. So just wanted to say, those of you, go ahead, sign up for classes, get your spot just in case. But and if you have a friend, we have Buddy Challenge starting soon. So all the information will be coming out on that. So if you've got a friend that kind of needs a handhold and they need a friend to bring them along, maybe you could be that friend and invite them to the Buddy Challenge that we're going to start on the 18th. So anyway, everybody have a good week.